We're gonna rock it. It's gonna be cool. I think it's so funny because everybody wants to see the comments, and I'm like, sorry, you can't in Zoom. It can't. So, guys, what's up? We're here. It's day number 9 of the 12 days of Bizmas. I am so fucking excited to have Autumn here. We were just jamming out about mommy life. She has a beautiful little baby at home, and I'm so jealous, guys. This is Autumn. Autumn, how are you doing today?
Hi. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here. This is gonna be so much fun.
To me, it's so super fun. Do you love her glasses? Like, we look like sisters today.
We are.
So, guys, if you do not know who Autumn is, I just want to take a minute to introduce her. Autumn Bensette is a passionate, intuitive life and business coach, and she is the host of the Wealthy Babe podcast. She teaches women how to hit their first 5K months, and today she's going to be talking to you about how to clarify who you serve to make more money. I am so excited about this topic. This is a beautiful way to like jump into specificity, getting really clear. Autumn, why don't you take it away for us?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Lauren. Like, I cannot say thank you enough for holding this space and creating this space. I'm just so excited to be here. I think that this is an incredible container of growth and expansion that you have created for all these women. And I know so many people already are just like lit up and on fire and having the most incredible time being in your energy and being in all these women's energy. And that, of course. So you guys, I can't see any comments on here, as you probably have recognized if you've been on the training so far. So I love to interact. So it's really, really weird for me that I can't see the comments, but I promise I'll come back and I'll reply to all the things after. And so if you have any questions, if there's anything that comes up, if you want to interact, just share it below and I would love to come back and comment back with you later. So I will also preface this with saying it's been 2 months since I've had a live training, a live Facebook Live, or even a podcast episode released due to baby. She's 7 weeks yesterday. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to kind of be getting back in the swing of things. First time back in my office. It feels so good. So thank you guys so much for taking time out and just holding space for me today and coming to learn. So today we're talking all about clarifying who it is that you serve to create more abundance in your business, more abundance in your life, more money ultimately. I love helping women make more money because this is strategically where the foundation begins. I see so many people struggling online. I was one of them for such a long period of time, especially in network marketing for multiple years. Even though I was making money and making good money, I wasn't where I am now. Like no matter how much I envisioned where I am now and I wanted it to be present then, I wasn't there. It wasn't happening. I wasn't making that income. I wasn't making that impact. I wasn't having that same influence. It just wasn't happening the same way. And I'm not the only one alone in this. I know that there are so many women out there. Every single client that I usually start working with is in this space where they don't know who they serve, what they do. They're lacking sales. They're lacking confidence. Their content isn't really grabbing anyone's attention. It isn't impacting. It isn't penetrating anybody's souls. So why is that? Like, why are there so many people online and in the online space who are struggling to make the money that they want to? As much as you guys, the inner work is so important. Like I am such an advocate for the inner work, the healing work, walking through your fears, walking through your limitations, breaking through your ceilings. Because one of the most important things in how you attract money and essentially how you attract money is being a person that people want to pay, right? You have to be that person that somebody wants to pay. That's one of the very most important things, is being that woman that people are excited to give their money to, that they trust that you're going to be the leader. That's massive. But if we do not we don't have any strategy, if we don't have clarity in who it is that we serve, if we're not clear in what it is that our offers are, if we're not clear in our content, then how can people buy from us, right? I was once in network marketing. And I had a group, it was called like a challenge group at the time. And when I was in the health and fitness network marketing business and I had what was called a challenge group, looking back now, I had people in that group that were vegan. I had people that were bodybuilding and in competitions. I had people that were pregnant. I had people that were breastfeeding. I had people that had diabetes or had different ailments. I had people that were just like normal, that could wake up really easy in the morning and get their workouts in. I had so many different varieties of people. And I had to look at it and say, why are people not getting the results that they want to be getting? Why are they not connecting? Why are they like, what's the missing puzzle piece? What's working? What's not working here? I had to figure this out. And when I looked at it, in hindsight, when I looked at it from, zoomed out, what I could see is that I had so many different types of people. I was serving so many different types of people that I could not create content that served. I could not actually solve a specific problem. Nobody was connecting to one another. Nobody felt like, it didn't feel cohesive. And so I struggled to make content. They struggled to receive the content. Everybody struggled to get results. Knowing who you serve is so incredibly important, because otherwise it's confusing. And if it's confusing for you, it's confusing for them. If you don't know what you sell, if you don't know, what to post, then they don't know how to buy from you. The online space is a very noisy, it's a very saturated place. And this I don't mean in a way to limit yourself or to put a ceiling on you. What I mean is that because it's noisy, because it's saturated, there are a lot of people who do things similar to what it is that you do. So it's so incredibly important that you are clear about who it is that you serve and you stand out. You have to stand out. What makes you different? And essentially niching down is what allows you to make yourself different. That's where you clarify the little beautiful points about what you do that maybe nobody else does. If it's not clear, what you do, if it's not clear who you serve, if it's not clear about the problem it is that you solve, if it's not clear the result that you get them, or if it's for them, how can your customer buy? How can your potential client buy? How can anybody in your audience buy? It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. I know Matt actually talked a lot about this on his day. From what I was able to catch, there's this whole side in strategy. There's this whole side in what's proven to work. And as much as we want the inner work, and as much as we do all these things, and this is so incredibly important, I'm really not overlooking it. The strategy is their sales to strategy, their psychology to sales. That's exactly what Jen talked about yesterday. There are these things that we cannot ignore that do exist when it comes to making money. And this is just one of them. And if you can think about any kind of brand out there, if it's Nike, if it's Lululemon, if it's like Target, if it's Free People, there's so many different types of businesses out there that you can purchase from. Every single one of them has a niche. Every single one of them has cohesiveness. They have a brand. They're speaking to a specific audience. And if they were just trying to target to every single person, then you probably wouldn't feel like it was meant for you. Maybe it wasn't your vibe. It wasn't your message. It's not what you stood for. It's not what you wanted to feel. It wasn't going to get you the result that you wanted to get because you weren't sure that they specialized in that. I think one of the biggest things that I see is that I've seen people label themselves as things like mermaid coaches, or I help others light up and reignite their fire, or I help people to be healthy and fit. But this is really vague and this is super intangible. Like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? Like, what is a mermaid coach? I wish I could see the comments on here, but you guys, I swear I have seen this. I have seen this places before. Like their business was like unicorn kisses or something. I don't know what that is. I don't know how that helps me. I don't know what you sell. I don't know what you offer. I don't know how this is going to make me feel. It's a fun word. It's a buzzword. Unicorns are great. I have one on my desk, but I don't know how this is going to help me. I don't know why I'm going to pull up my card and buy from you. I don't know why I'm going to make this transaction. I don't know why I need this in my life. I don't know what lighting up and reigniting power means. As much as this is beautiful and it makes me feel maybe something, if I was to pay you for it, I don't know what I'm getting on the other side. Are we walking through our vision? Are you helping me find body confidence? Am I getting a workout? Like, I don't know what I'm getting from you. It's so confusing and so vague. As much as, like I said, they're beautiful words and they make you feel fun. They make you feel like fired up, and you read them and you're like, this is great. If it came to actually purchasing, they'd be like, well, what do I get? Like, what's the result I'm getting? What's the tangible thing that I'm getting out of working with you? I don't know. Same with being healthy and fit. Like, healthy and fit, it's what does this mean? Does it mean you're doing HIIT workouts? Does it mean that you're doing keto? Does it mean you're doing paleo? Does it mean you're helping them work through binge eating and emotional eating? I don't understand what healthy and fit specifically means. It has to be more tangible. And I'm going to walk you through some examples, but it has to be more tangible. It has to come from a space of, if they work with you, they're going to get this. If they work with you, they're going to get this. So what you need to find out when you're going through and trying to figure this out for yourself, and you're trying to establish your niche and your audience and who it is that you serve, and you're trying to get more specific, what you really need to first find out is what is causing them pain, right? What is causing the pain? Is it that they have no money? They have no clients, they're not making sales, they have no direction, they have no time to work out, no time to work their business, no time to be with their kids. They want to leave their 9 to 5. They have no team growth. What is causing them pain? Looking in the mirror, seeing themselves, eating. Like, what is causing them so much pain that is eating them up and it is driving them crazy, and they would do anything to fix this, anything to grow out of this, anything to elevate, anything to evolve. Now, what do they want to feel? What is it that these women, or whoever it is that you're serving, what is it that they want to feel? Do they want to feel supported? Do they want to feel successful? Do they want to feel confident, passionate, sexy, strong, next level, at ease? Do they want to feel free? What do they want to feel after working with you? Okay, this is important. So what is causing the pain? What do they want to feel? And what is the result that they want? So based on their pain points, based on what's causing them pain, most likely what it is that they're wanting is more time, right? They're wanting more time. They're wanting more money. They're wanting more sales. They're wanting direction. They're wanting to be with their kids. They're wanting team growth. They're wanting confidence. They're wanting to rank up. They want to lose weight, right? These are the tangible things, the things that somebody can say, I got this after working with you. Of course, you guys, there's things like byproducts. There are things that they're going to get through working with you no matter what. Regardless, if you're working with somebody, say for example, like for me, I help my clients on the outside. What I say that I do is that I help you to stretch into 5-figure months or 5K months, and I help you to build multiple revenue streams. I help you to grow your business. On the outside, this is what I'm saying, because I know my ideal client wants to make more money. I know my ideal client wants to stretch into 5K and beyond months. I know where they're at. I understand these things. I know what's causing the pain. I know what they're saying more than anything that they want. I get it. They want money. That's the biggest thing. They want to have a successful business. They want multiple revenue streams. They don't want to be struggling anymore. But I also know that on the inside, in order for them to get there, I'm going to have to go through their fears. I'm going to have to walk through their limitations. I'm going to have to help them to build confidence, work through their money mindset, and help them to build and foster a beautiful relationship with money, how they spend money, how they hold on to money, how they make money. I know that there's so much more growth within their relationships, their sex lives, like so many things that we are going to expand, elevate, and shift in our work together. But if on the outside, I am saying, we're going to work through fears, we're going to walk through your limitations, I'm going to get you to do crazy ass shit, I'm going to make you be courageous and brave so then you can build your confidence. If I'm saying all these things on the outside, they might come to me and say, I don't need any of that, right? They might totally overlook my offer. They might totally overlook my page, my marketing, my branding. They might totally overlook everything to do with me, because on the outside or inside, what they're saying is, I don't need that. All they're saying is, I want this. They don't know what they need. And I know Matt touched on this as well, is that they don't know what they need. We as humans, a lot of the time, I could even get on a call with my coach, and sometimes I don't even know what I need from her. I could be going through something and I need her guidance on it, or I'm saying I want something and she gives me what I need. She gives me the method and she walks me through it in the way that I needed, but I didn't know that I needed. That's why we hire somebody. That's why we work with somebody, is because they know what we need, but they're also going to give us what we want. So it's really important for you to look at this and say, what am I doing right now? Am I kind of getting caught up in the fluffy things and the things that are a little bit intangible, the things that aren't, they could not measure? Am I getting kind of caught up in these things because they feel good, because they're exciting? Or am I actually talking about the tangible thing? Am I actually showing them the result that they're going to get through working with me? This is really important because there's a difference. And I'm going to go through this, but there's a massive difference between kind of talking about the fluffy things, right? I help you ignite your fire and reignite your passion and all these things. Yes, well, even passion's a little bit more tangible, but I help you ignite your power and I help you be healthy and fit. These things are just not super tangible, right? They're not super tangible. They don't know what they're buying. They don't exactly know what they're getting from you. People pay top money for an expert. And when I'm talking expert, I'm not meaning like know all the things. Like, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that you feel really confident in what it is that you do know. That's what an expert means to me. And you can define it in any way that feels fit for you. But to me, an expert does not mean like that you've reached this point, like that we're always going to be shifting, growing, evolving, learning, mastering our craft. Like everything is going to be shifting as long as you're doing what it is that you're doing. It's inevitable. But being an expert to me just means feeling really confident in what it is that you do know, what it is that you do talk about, what it is that lights you up. What it is that you teach, what it is that you preach. An expert knows the pain points, right? An expert knows what her clients want. An expert knows the results that she's going to get her client, her customer, her patient off the back of her hand. It's second nature for them. That's why people pay top dollar, right? A brain surgeon. You're going to pay a top dollar to a brain surgeon. A dermatologist for people with burns. A personal trainer for marathon runners, a coach for bikini competitions, for bodybuilding competitions. These are very specific. And you could even break it down. Say it's a coach for a bikini competition. You could break that down even more into the specific classes or the specific types of women or specific types of workouts or methods to get there. Natural, not like all these different things. When you specify and you get really clear about who it is that you're serving and you niche down, you're able to charge more for your services because you're becoming a master at what it is that this specific person feels, wants, is struggling with, needs, the result that she wants, and you become so freaking good at it. Not good at everything, but good at this. People want to pay top dollar to be in that space of the person who knows what they know. It's not just about what you know, it's being in the energy of you because you know what you know. They're going to elevate just by being in your container. And so they're going to invest even more into you if you're not trying to serve anybody and everybody, right? This is the issue. When you're trying to serve anybody and everybody, you can't make customized content. You can't make content that speaks to their pain points, that speaks to what's hurting them, that speaks to the way that they want to feel, that speaks to all these things. You cannot target this person if you don't know who you're talking to. That's why you usually wake up and you're like, I don't know what to post today. Or you wake up and you're like, I'm just going to post a quote. Or I'm just going to post about water. That should be good. You guys, these things don't hit home for people. They don't evoke emotion. They don't make them feel like you get them. It doesn't make them feel like you walked in their shoes. You understand what they're struggling with. That is not you establishing yourself as the teacher or the expert where they want to pay you top dollar for what it is that you know. Okay, this is stuff that they can kind of get anywhere. They can go on a Pinterest for. This is not separating you. This is not showing you in your spotlight. Like, would you, out of curiosity, would you want to pay a lot of money for a business coach who was also health coaching, who was also doing graphics, photography, and VA work? Would that excite you? Or would you be like, okay, wait, what do you do? Like what is it that you do exactly? Like, which of these are you the expert in? Because chances are, if you're going at like 5 different things, like chances are you're not doing any at 100%. You're kind of doing them all at 50%. You're not really showing up as the expert. And so people, when they're coming onto your page, you're like, hey, I'm confused. Do I hire you for photos? Do I hire you for graphic design? Do I hire you for VA work? Are you a business coach? Like, I don't know where we're going with this. Like, I don't know what it is that you're going to get me. I don't know how you're going to serve me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And that person is not feeling like you're an expert in any of these spaces. Therefore, if you shared your prices, they might question it. They might feel like, I don't know if she's really the expert in this space. I don't know if I'm willing to spend this much money. I don't even know what it is that she really does. So people, not only are you going to struggle to create content for being a business coach, for being a health coach, for being a VA, being a photographer, being all these types of things all at once, because I see this with people that are in multiple network marketing businesses as well. It gets confusing for your audience to what it is that you serve, what your message is, what you stand for. But when you're trying to create offers or sales, maybe it's even looks like, I'm just going to throw out what I know. I'm a coach. I serve a lot of coaches. A lot of my clients are coaches. And we say you offer a program. The more that you know your client. So for instance, I know that my client is, say, a coach, an online entrepreneur, a network marketer, and what they really want is clarity in who they serve. They want money. They want to make more sales. Well, what needs to happen? They need to know their niche. So instead of me just trying to be like, okay, well, here's all the things I could teach you. I know that my ideal client is specifically struggling with making money. I know they're specifically needing to know how to niche down as an entrepreneur. And so I can actually create a program that's narrowed down, that's like niche to sell, or I'm actually creating an evergreen right now that is about niching, because that is something that I know my ideal client needs. But beforehand, I might have just created something that was super vague, super open, and really didn't hit the pain points or speak to any specific individual at all, because I didn't really know what she needed. So then I would have either not only struggled to create the program, to create what it is that they needed to know, what they needed to learn, what they need to take action on, what they need to implement, the examples inside, the methods, the way that I'm teaching it, the way that I'm speaking to them. I probably would have struggled to do that to begin with, but then I really would have struggled to sell it and to create the content so then that person felt like it was for them. So we do the same thing with our business. And a big reason why we do this, and maybe you guys feel this, maybe you've been here, because I know I experienced this a lot at first, and I usually get this come up with some of my clients at a certain point, one or another, when we are starting out, is this fear around it, like this fear around niching down. Like, well, what if I niche down and I make no money? What if I niche down and it's just not enough people? Like, what if I niche down and I'm broke? And it's really hard. No, this is lack and scarcity. That's all it is this is coming from a space of lack and scarcity. This is not coming from a space of abundance. This is not coming from a space of feeling supported and trusting and knowing that there's more than enough people for you, that there's not any less. But in fact, when you actually cast that rod out into the sea, when you actually cast it out, it's not about getting all the fish, it's about getting the one fish, right? It's about getting the right fish. That's what it's about. You only need one person. Like, it's not about the masses all the time. And if you have a business where you want to reach the masses, then maybe that looks a little different for you. But I think even when you niche down, you can reach the masses. But I want you really to think, to make the money that I want to make, how many people do I really need to serve? Like, how many clients do I really need? How many people in this program do I really need? It's really not as big as it's not as big as you think it is. Most of the time, we think in our head that we need thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and most of the time we don't. Maybe you need a handful of clients, or you need 30 people in a group. You can build this many relationships within your niche. That is so freaking possible. There's no reason to feel like that's not possible for you unless you truly believe and you go into this space of lack and scarcity and feel like there's not enough for you. There's not enough to go around. And if you believe this to be true, you will be right. That's the truth here. Whatever you believe to be true is right. So if you believe that there's not enough people for you to serve, if you niche down and you get really clear about who it is that you serve, you are right. But if you believe that there's more than enough people to serve, that there's an abundance of people, that there's 3 times the amount of people if you niche down to serve than there would be if you didn't, you will be right. Whatever it is that you believe to be true will be right. So I want you to figure out what lights you up. Okay, what lights you up? What lights you up to talk about? What lights you up to teach? What do you love to preach about? What do you love to talk about for hours? What excites you? Okay, what comes effortlessly to you? What is effortless for you to speak about, to teach about, to talk about? This is something for me that is so effortless. Like, it's so easy for me to talk about. It's so easy for me to riff on. I love this topic. I love talking about money. I love talking about sales strategy. This stuff is so freaking easy for me that it's a no-brainer that this is where I'm meant to serve. It's something I'm meant to teach. What do I know really well? Do you know really well how to help people lose weight? Do you know really well how to help them add like a keto diet into their life? Do you know really well how to help somebody relieve their stress through meditation? Do you know really well how just to energetically heal somebody? Do you know really well how to create systems and organization? What is it that you already know how to do really well? And what problems do you see existing that you also feel confident in solving? Okay, what problems do you see that exist that you also feel confident in solving? And where were you just at? Where were you just at? Like, if you had to look back a few steps behind you, where were you just? Like, what did you just go through? What did you just experience? What just happened to you? What did you just feel? What did you just move through? Something that's so important, I'm going to suggest this to you if you haven't already, but become very success conscious on this journey. Become the person that as you see success, as you see something works, you write it down, start journaling your process, see what's working, see what's not working, see what you had to change. Become aware of what it is that you're doing, what you're moving through, what you're growing through, because it allows you to look back on it as you shift. It allows you to look back as you shift, so then you can continue to grow and to expand what it is that you do offer to people, and how your brand grows and evolves. So one way that I like to I always give, it's a tangible thing, it's strategy. So I want to kind of give you the way to set this up for yourself, is what I always do and walk my clients through is just a little, it's like called like a hook statement. It's your sign outside your door. It's your elevator pitch, whatever it is that you want to call it. It's I blank to blank, or I blank to blank so they can blank. However you want to kind of structure it, you can do it. So for example, like I coach entrepreneurs to create and monetize podcasts. That is very tangible. It's very clear. It's showing very specifically, I coach entrepreneurs to create. So they're going to build and they're going to monetize a podcast. This isn't trying to do everything and anything. This person is becoming an expert at helping people to create incredible podcasts that sell and create and generate revenue quickly. That's huge. That is huge. So if you go onto this person's page and you stumbled across their profile and you're an online entrepreneur and you're like, I feel called to create a podcast, would that not be the person you would want to hire and pay like the good money to versus any other person out there because this person has specifically done this, as an expert in it, does the research on it, sees the results, tracks it, all the things. I know I would. I know I 100% would hire this person and I would pay them whatever it is that they charge, because I would trust that this is their area of expertise. This is what they do. I'm not confused. Or I mentor network marketers to grow their team, rank up fast, and hit consistent 5-figure months. That's very, very clear. That is a very clear niche. It's a very clear statement. It's very clear about who it is that you're serving. You're serving network marketers. You're helping them to rank up fast. You're helping them to grow their team, and you're helping them to hit 5-figure months. This is speaking to what they want. On the inside, you're going to help them to build their confidence. You're going to help them walk through fears. You're going to help them to become better women in general. Like there's no way that they can rank up and grow their teams and to make more money without doing those things. But if on the outside we're saying, I coach network marketers to break through their fears, so then they probably won't sign up because they're like, I don't want to do that. I just want to make money. I don't want to do what's hard. I don't want to do it's difficult. I'm not going to pay to do that. And that's what I definitely found to be true for me. I found this to be true for my clients. And this is big. This is huge. This is what makes the difference. This is the magic here, is getting clear. I coach moms to love their post baby body. Moms are out there saying, I just want to love my body again. I want to love the skin I'm in. I just want to feel good and confident where I'm at right now. That's something that these women are going to pay for. They're going to invest in. I help women to reignite their passion in their marriage and have sex again. That's tangible, right? That is something that these women who are struggling in their marriage or their relationships on the downhill, and they feel like they've tried everything to make it better. They're going to do anything, right? They're saying, I want to have a stronger marriage and I want to have sex again. That's all they know. That's all they're signing up for. That's all they care about. But if you sit on the inside, like we're going to do X, Y, Z, they might already be out, right? They may not purchase from you. They may not sign up because they're already telling themselves that they don't need that. They're scared of it. It makes them nervous. They're not ready for it. We have to speak to what they want. Okay. I hope this is making sense. I hope this is helping. I wish I could see the comments. I coach women to lose weight in 30 minutes a day. I coach women to break up with yo-yo dieting and be confident in their body again. I'm a virtual assistant for the busy entrepreneur craving more time, more energy, and more money. A social media strategist helping you to increase your visibility and make more sales. These are all very tangible, specific niches. And I hope you guys can see the difference between that kind of a niche and I coach people to be healthy and fit. I really hope that you guys do. And if you don't, please let me know and I'd love to come back and help you. But like what I was talking about, and I mentioned this before, is that we have to give them what we want so we can give them what they need. If they don't know that they need this inner work, if they don't know that they need to go through certain nutrition or spirituality or meditate or do these types of things to heal and to grow and to elevate and to evolve, then they're not going to buy. And the most important thing is that we get them in the door. The most important thing beyond wanting to have the fluffy titles that look fun is serving them, making an impact in their life. That has to be number one. If you're not in it for that, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. Right? That's not what a business is about. A business is about serving. It's about truly helping and impacting people's lives. And these are real people who have real problems and things that they really want to pay to fix and to grow and to evolve, to be the best person that they can be, or to have the best relationship that they can have, or the best business that they want to have, or the best body and health. People truly, especially women, are emotional buyers. They're emotional buyers. When they're investing in you, it's because they know that through working with you and being in your space and energy, they're going to become or have more of what you want, more of what you have, or more of what you are. That's simple. They're going to become a version of you, or they're going to have a version of what it is that you have. That is why people invest. They're not just paying for your product. They're not just paying for your service. They're paying to be in your container. And in this container, you could say nothing. You can know nothing. But because of the way that you are and the way that you be, by them investing into this space, they're going to become this. They're going to become this version. They're going to take on this energy, take on these habits, take on all the things that you are and do and have. And so that's what people are investing in. Women are emotional buyers. They have to feel emotionally connected to what it is that they're buying. And if they're not tied to a want and something that's going to make their life easier, better, more fulfilled, they're not purchasing. And this is a big reason why people are not making money in the online space, is because they're not being specific and clear about what it is that they're serving and what they're helping them do and the result that they're getting. It's very fluffy. It's very all over the place, but it's not clear. And the more clear that you get, the more niche down you get. You can get almost in the head, not in a creepy way, but you can almost become like best friends with your ideal client and truly speak to her needs, create content that impacts and influences, create live videos that speak to their soul, where they're sending you messages being like, I literally, like, you were in my head. Were you with me in bed today? Like, I was just thinking about that. Like, did you have cameras? Like, how did you know this? That's what people want to feel, right? They want to feel like what you've created is customized, and they want to feel like when they came onto your sales page, or they came onto your post today, or they hopped into your live videos, that you're speaking to them. That's what they want to feel. If they feel like it's for everybody, they're not going to be as connected to it. They're going to be confused, and they're not going to know if what you have to offer is truly for them or if it's going to help them. So journal, meditate, go in a bath, do whatever it is that you got to do to get yourself in a really beautiful space where you can open up this space internally, energetically, physically, and allow yourself to sit with this. And maybe you already have a niche, and maybe it's time to re-niche. Maybe it's time to get more clear. Maybe it's time to evaluate and do a little gut check and see, am I actually making the sales that I want to? Do I need to get a little bit more clear? Is this maybe not very tangible? Is it time to grow? Is it time to evolve? Because you're always going to be shifting, right? You're always going to be growing. Even now, I have changed my niche multiple times since I've started my business, not drastically different, but got it either more specific, or I made it a little bit more tangible, or changed the wording around a little bit, especially I'm in a season right now where I can feel massive shift and up level in who it is that I am, where I've invested, where my business is growing, who I feel called to serve, the way I feel called to restructure my business. And going into the new year, I'm going through a massive rebrand. I'm rebranding who it is who I serve, changing my niche a little bit to get a little bit more specific and evolve it, level it up a bit. And I'm going to change this around, because it's okay. When I say niche down, I don't mean you're stuck here forever. I mean that it's important, especially at the beginning, to get really, really clear. And then as you get more established, as people really start to know you for what it is that you do, then you can kind of get to a point where you can start to add more things in, and you can, as you go through shifts, maybe it's 3 months or 6 months or a year down the road, and you feel like you've evolved and you've changed. It's okay. There's no rules to this. You can change and evolve at any point. But what I'm saying is that you need to start somewhere. You need to start somewhere where you do have a tangible outcome, a tangible result, where you're speaking to the clear wants of your ideal client. And if you don't want to, you can take what you want and leave the rest. It's totally okay. This isn't going to feel right for everybody, and that's all right. But if you're struggling to create sales, maybe it's time to try something different. Maybe it's time to try this out. Maybe it's time to get a little bit more clear. Okay, maybe it's time. So journal, meditate, sit in a bath, but ask yourself, what lights me up to talk about? What excites me to teach? Okay, what really comes easily and effortlessly to me? What do I know really, really well? What problem do I see existing that I feel confident in solving? Where was I just at? And then go a little bit deeper. What pain problems or what pain and problems are they experiencing? What does she want to feel? And what's the result that she wants to get? So that's basically that, you guys. I hope that helps you. I hope that these give you some really good questions to start with, to journal with, and you get really clear about your ideal client and you start making more moolah real fast.
Girl, you are awesome. I love this topic because I think it's like, it really speaks to something that's so important in business, but something that's also so uncomfortable for people. And I'm wondering if you can touch on this, because you did talk about it a little bit, but maybe we can go a little bit deeper. This fear that you see people have when they're saying, I don't want to niche down, or I feel like worried about it. Part of the reason I think people have that fear is because they're so worried that when they niche, they're going to lose the masses, right? And the other element that you didn't mention was this, or maybe you did, but this feeling of getting bored, right? People are like, well, I don't want to niche down because I don't want to be bored. So what's your response to that? And how do you feel you could change that moving forward for yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. So the very first one with the fear about niching down and kind of losing the masses. I think I did kind of touch on it a little bit. Like this is coming from this like lack and scarcity place, right? So you have to kind of assess and be like, well, why do I want the masses? Like, why do I want to serve everybody? And where did I learn this? Like, where did I learn to begin with that in order for me to make really good money, that I had to serve everybody and I had to serve the masses? And a lot of the time I would say, and maybe this isn't the case for every single person, but I would say a big chunk of us when we start an online space and when if we've shifted and evolved to a different place now, a lot of us started network marketing. Like a lot of us have kind of at least been there at a certain point or started there. And if you've started there, then you have a lot of things that are ingrained in you real deep that you have to work through and you've truly believed to be true. I truly believe to be true that I should speak to anybody and everybody. And I truly believe that if I wasn't talking to everybody, then I was going to lose people that I was meant to serve everybody. That's why I had all these crazy different people in my group, but nobody was getting the results that I wanted. Like they weren't seeing success in their bodies and their health. And I wasn't seeing people who felt connected to one another. They weren't creating relationships. They weren't keeping the results. Like they weren't keeping where it was that they're at and elevating that for themselves. They would fall off and they'd go MIA and I wouldn't hear from them again. And that hurt me. That made me feel like I was doing a bad job and I couldn't help them because I couldn't, because I really didn't know what it is that they needed. So I think that's a big one, is that fear of the masses. And we have to understand, like, where did this come from? Where did you learn this? Where did you believe this to be true? Who told you this? When did you decide that, like, when did you decide? When did you decide that?
It's also this point of like, I think people want to reach the masses because they see people who have like 20,000 or 30,000 Instagram followers and they're like, oh my God, like that's goals, right? That's where I want to be. So I have to talk to the masses to get that big number. And I think it's important to mention, like, you can have a huge fucking following and be really specific in what you speak to. I don't think those two things are directly connected. They're totally separate.
No. And the thing you have to recognize too, is that following grew one at a time. Right? Like that following, that big amount of number, that mass, it grew by one moment, one person, one relationship, one impact. Like it grew one at a time, and all you're seeing is the end result. All you're seeing is where it's at now, but you didn't see it at 1 and 2 and 5. And so it had to grow somewhere. Like it had to start. And they can go together, but you have to grow it. And it comes with time. It comes with alignment. It comes with impact. And the thought with it getting bored and that fear of getting bored, I guess it can be a really real thing. I guess if you're that person that gets bored very easily and what it is that you do, that might be one thing. But I did mention a little bit, like, you can evolve and shift your brand and who it is that you serve as you grow. You can add things in, but it's kind of when you're getting started, so people are not getting confused all over the place. Like if you're saying, I sell essential oils, I'm a health coach, I coach in business, I'm doing all these things, people are just like, but what do I buy from you? Like, I don't understand. Am I buying oils? Are you doing like natural health?
I love you talked about it and you said, oh my God, it was like Unicorn Kisses was like the name of the business. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. Like, and not to dismiss or debunk anybody who's listening who's like, oh fuck, they're talking about my brand here, but like, it's so true. It's so true. Like you feel like you need to be, I think it's like this creative element, right? Like I'm going to come up with the coolest name for my business and everyone's going to love it. And unicorns, mermaids, and babes. That's like, everybody wants to put that somewhere in their branding. And I don't know. I think it's so powerful what you talked about where you said, speak to the problem, right? What is the problem that you solve? What is the specific tangible thing that you get for people as a result? So for people out there who are in a space where they say, because I've seen this too, where they go, I'm gotta go back to the drawing board again, and I gotta figure out my niche, and I gotta probably you have like 40 people on this video now, and they're probably like, oh fuck, I gotta redo my whole entire niche. Like, what do you say to that? Because I think that derails people sometimes. I think it like stops people in their tracks, and they go, oh, I gotta shut down my business so I can figure out what my niche is. What's your response to all that?
Yeah, and it's true. Like I've had so many of my clients who, especially when I start building a business with them, I'm kind of evolving who I work with at this point, but a lot of the people and a lot of clients that I do have at this point were very beginner business people. Like they were building the foundations of their business. We are going through all these processes together. And at the start, they're like, I feel really called to serve here. And then they'd shift for a little bit, they'd grow and they'd step into it and understand more what I was talking about. And they'd understand more what it meant to like niche down and be specific when they're actually creating the content, going live, trying actually putting all the work into place and seeing what I mean. And then they'd be like, okay, I don't know if I really feel called to serve this person. I think I need to niche down a little bit more. I don't think I'm being as specific because I attracted the wrong person. I'm like, okay, well, this is good. At least we're aware. But it's no different than me, what I'm doing right now. Is I know that my brand is going to evolve come the new year. I know that I'm getting a new photo shoot. I know that I'm going to change my branding. I'm going to update everything. I'm going to re-talk to who I'm speaking to. And like, I know that's going to happen, but it doesn't change that right now, a lot of the problems, a lot of what she's struggling with is still a lot of the same things. Like I'm just elevating my stories. I'm usually elevating where I'm going to be at. I'm elevating my, like, instead of me talking about, when I change all this branding, instead of me talking about like where I was 5 years ago, instead of me talking about where I was at the beginning of my journey, where I was talking about in network marketing, I'm going to be talking about where I was now. Like I'm going to be talking about where I was maybe like a few months ago or back in September or while I got
different problems, right? So this is, I mean, for anybody who's a business coach on the line, this is so fucking powerful and so important because like I even went through this too, Autumn, and I feel really connected to you that you're sharing this, where I was like, you know what? I can't work with newbies anymore one-on-one. I cannot do it. So I designed all these programs for lower entry level and said, that's where people can go when they want to get started. It's lower cost. But when I was creating content in my brain and I was writing these posts that were like, 5 years ago, I was broke and living on a mattress on the floor. Who do you attract? You attract a broke person who's sleeping on the mattress on the floor and she's going to go, oh my God, me too. I can't afford you, but great. So I think it's really important, like even in health, right? Like if you're going to help somebody and you write about these moments where you were 60 pounds overweight when you just started versus the person who is pregnant and then wants to lose the baby weight after, right? These are different challenges based on speaking to an old version of yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And
Love
like,
it.
Here's the thing too, is like, you start getting disconnected to this. Like, you don't even know how to help. You can't relate to them the same way. Like for me, I even start to have a hard time now, even relating with the beginning of a business. Like I understand, I've been there, I remember it, but I've been in a state now in this space where trusting, surrendering to the process, making big, crazy investments, just letting things go. Like this is just natural to me
You're
now.
Playing at a new level now.
Yeah, like you're at a new level. You've changed, you shifted. So for me, it's like once you've lost like the 60 pounds and you've been so fit for 5 years, you can't relate to that person anymore where you were at 60 pounds overweight 5 years ago, the same way that you can relate to the person who's like, I kind of have abs, but like I want to get them rock solid. Like I really want here. Like it just, you kind of shift and you just can't relate the same way to the person that you used to be if it's been so much time between it. So it's okay to kind of shift and evolve because you want to relate, you want to understand, you want to feel what it's like to feel what they're feeling.
So I think what I'm picking up for you from what you're sharing that I want to like reiterate or translate, because it's like a light bulb for me.
Yeah.
Your ideal client will evolve as you evolve as a human. And so this issue of, well, if I pick one person now and I'm like narrowing down or I'm being too specific and then I get bored, well, in 6 or 7 months, you're going to grow and you're going to change and you will shift your ideal client. But when you speak, you're speaking with specifics. When you're talking, you're being really clear about who you're talking to. I love that. I think it's so important. So when we talk about speaking to the pain, speaking to the pleasure, right? Yeah. The tangible result of like, what is the problem that this person has? And then speaking to the joy of the solution that you have for her right down the line. What do you think are some of your tips on like how to create content that targets problems and results at the same time?
Okay, so I think again, you have to get really clear. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna know. But once you know, you have like kind of these lists. You have an idea on this side, like this is what she's struggling with. This is what she wants to feel. This is the result that she wants to get. One big tip, and I don't know if this really applies the same way, but one big tip is that we don't really talk about you a lot. Like we don't put them in it. We're not saying you are going to feel this, or what if you feel this, or what if you experience this, what if you feel this way when you take this leap. Try to create content when you invoke a feeling out of them. Allow them to see what it's going to feel like when they get this result, when they commit to this thing. This is what they're going to feel. Allow them to like step in, almost create it as a story, and put like a little bit of you, like put a little bit of your story. Play a little bit of this expert in that friend. Write your story. Who you are is that relating factor. It's you being that friend to them where they can understand and be like, she gets me. I could open up to her. But then that tips, the tangible stuff, like that's like her saying she's an expert. She's teaching me. I know I could be led by her. So when it comes to your content, what I find is really powerful is being able to, I mean, think about a lesson, think about something it is that you want to teach them, what you want them to walk away with, the result that you want them to feel, and then help them step into it. Imagine how you would feel if you finally just leapt and you took the chance on your business. Imagine what would open up for you. Imagine if you did XYZ. It's going to allow them to feel what they need to feel. Imagine if you just looked in the mirror and you finally loved the person that you've seen looking back at you. This woman's going to be like, oh my God, like that's me. Like I can feel it. Like I get chills. So that's what they need to feel. And if you can put you into it a little bit more than I, like I'm doing this, I feel this, I had my shake today, I did this, I made this money, and making it all about you. They're not buying because of what you're doing. They're buying because it's how it's going to make them feel. So we have to talk.
Love that. That is so good, honey. That's so good. So for everybody who's falling in love with you and rocking it, I'm looking at the comments I have them up on my phone. I've been keeping track. For everyone who's just in love with you and wants to know more and wants to check out your stuff, where can they come find you and follow you?
Yeah. Okay. So you can either, I'm maxed out on friends. I'm sure people will delete me because, people delete me every day, and that's okay. So if you want to come, you can try to add me as a friend on Facebook. You can follow me there just on my personal page. You can come hang out in the Bossy Babe Club, which is just my free community on Facebook. You can come hang out on the Wealthy Babe podcast and subscribe and listen. I would love to connect with you there. And on Instagram, I'm at bossybabe.xo. So we can hang out there as well.
Awesome. Autumn, thank you so much for being here. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow for day 10 of 12 Days of Bizmas.
Bye. Thank you so much.